Let's walk through Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP, and User Datagram Protocol, or UDP, which are two of the most important networking protocols you'll need to recognize for the Security Plus exam. These protocols are responsible for transporting data across networks, but they do so in very different ways. The key is understanding reliability versus speed. We'll begin with Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP, because this is one of the most heavily tested networking concepts on the exam. If a scenario describes reliable communication where data must arrive completely and in the correct order, you are dealing with TCP. Transmission Control Protocol is connection-oriented, meaning it establishes a session before data is transmitted. TCP focuses on reliability, accuracy, and guaranteed delivery. Before communication begins, TCP performs what is known as the three-way handshake. This process establishes a reliable connection between devices. The three-way handshake consists of SYN, the client requests a connection. SYN ACK, the server acknowledges the request. ACK, the client confirms the connection. Once the handshake is complete, data transmission begins. For example, when a user logs into an online banking website, reliability is critical. Every piece of information, including usernames, passwords, and financial transactions, must arrive completely and in the correct order. Because of this, HTTPS uses TCP. TCP also supports error checking and retransmission. If packets are lost during transmission, TCP requests that the missing data be resent. This reliability makes TCP ideal for web browsing using HTTPS, Secure Shell or SSH, File Transfer Protocol or FTP, email protocols such as SMTP. However, reliability comes at a cost. TCP is generally slower because it spends extra time verifying delivery and maintaining the connection. Now let's transition into User Datagram Protocol, or UDP. If a scenario describes fast communication where speed is more important than guaranteed delivery, you are dealing with UDP. User Datagram Protocol is connectionless, meaning it sends data immediately without establishing a session first. UDP focuses on speed and low latency rather than reliability. Unlike TCP, UDP does not perform a three-way handshake, guarantee packet delivery, retransmit lost packets, ensure packets arrive in order. Because of this, UDP is much faster and uses fewer resources. For example, online gaming commonly uses UDP because speed is more important than perfect delivery. If one packet is lost during gameplay, it is usually better to continue rather than pause the game waiting for retransmission. Streaming services and voice over IP, or VoIP, also commonly use UDP for the same reason. For example, if a video stream loses a single frame, users may not even notice. Waiting for retransmission would actually create buffering and delays, which would hurt the experience more than the missing data. UDP is commonly associated with Domain Name System, or DNS. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP. VoIP communications, streaming media, online gaming. Now let's connect these concepts the way the exam expects you to think. If the question describes reliability, acknowledgements, retransmissions, or session establishment, think TCP. If it describes speed, streaming, gaming, low latency, or connectionless communication, think UDP. A very common exam trap is choosing TCP simply because it sounds more secure or advanced. The real deciding factor is whether the application prioritizes reliability or speed. Now let's bring everything together using quick recognition patterns. If communication must be reliable and complete, think TCP. If communication must be fast with minimal delay, think UDP. If the protocol establishes a connection before transmitting data, think TCP. If data is sent immediately without session establishment, think UDP. If retransmission and error checking are important, think TCP. If low latency matters more than perfect delivery, think UDP. The most important takeaway is to remember the core trade-off. TCP prioritizes reliability and accuracy. UDP prioritizes speed and efficiency. If you can recognize that distinction and connect it to real-world services like web browsing, gaming, streaming, and DNS requests, you'll be able to quickly eliminate incorrect answers and confidently select the correct protocol on the exam.